So, hello and welcome to the video. I wanted to explain to you how this document, this page works. We're testing Aspire by English sections. So on the left-hand side, Kayez and all her classes, her 10th grade classes, period 1, 2, 3, and 6. And you can see them before with Claffy, Gus, Camera, etc. And across from here in the second column is the test room. And you'll see that period 1 is going to be tested in room 24 at 8 in the morning. And the proctors for that period 1 will be Kayez, period 2, and period 3, and then Miss Ritchie will take over period 4. So I want you to understand where you are in terms of in reference to this chart. So if you're down here and you're working in, let's say, the library, you're on the main side of the library, and you're going to be proctoring period 5 for Miss Ruth, and these are the proctors for that session. Anybody who has 504 within the school is going to be going to the library, to the computer lab. Each of these students has been spoken to individually. They know to bring their own lunch. For English teachers or any of you who teach this 10th grade, all of you teach 10th graders, please remind them to bring a calculator for their use in math. They can do the math without a calculator, but obviously it's to their advantage if they have one. There are 4 exams. There's the English exam, there's the math exam, there's the reading section, and the writing section. Each of these tests has a different format and a different timing. We have to be extremely careful that we follow the directions. The directions are here. I've edited them down for you so that you can just see. For each test, for the English, here are the verbal instructions. For the math test, the same way, the verbal instructions for you to deliver on the day of the test. The test has to be given alphabetically because there are 4 parts and 4 different test booklets. Students must sit alphabetically. You can see that their name is at the top here. They have to provide a signature at the back here, and they also have to sign their test booklet, which you'll find down below. Into each box, there will be a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4 exams. And we need to keep them completely clean so that you do not blend. Each proctor will be responsible for giving their own test and timing. It's extremely important that you give out the test booklets and collect back in the same number of test booklets that you've given out. So in each box you're going to find at the very bottom writing, which is test 4. Reading, which is test 3. Math, which is test number 2. And the first test that you will give, which is English, test 1. Okay, this is the suggested timing for the exam. It will work really well because it will get you into a 10 o'clock break for the bathroom and nutrition break, so that students will have access to the nutrition break itself. You'll see that you've been given time for the students to come in, find their test booklet, sit themselves down, and then begin at 8:10. There is, of course, the normal preparation for the test room. And I've included in this directions on how the test should be conducted. You'll get a copy of this ahead of time in your box. Each proctor should read it because each proctor will time and proctor and collect an exam. And you will be responsible for the booklets and for the answer booklets for each exam. Any missing booklet that is in your time period will be your responsibility. I'm also going to include, for those who are in period 1, the quiet, do not disturb sign, and no cell phones, earbuds, or electronic devices. I also am going to include for you to just generally look at it. It's a little bit busy, but it's how the seating arrangement should be. None of these are acceptable. So when I talk about them sitting all in the same direction, facing hopefully a clock or to the side where they can see the clock, and the board where you describe the timing for each section. That is very critical because this is a timed exam. After you finish testing, there's a printout in your booklet for each of the tests which describes to you how you need to return these test documents. It's important that that's done. One of the most important factors in testing is the attendance sheet. We have to have this attendance sheet completed, and it needs to be signed at the bottom and turned into the attendance office. The easiest way to take attendance is for you to pick up the test for those students who do not show. Instead of naming each student, just pick up the test for those who do not show and use that for your absentee list. You'll also have included pencils for each student. For the math section, students are allowed to use calculators. They can do the math without, but they are allowed to bring their own calculator. I wanted to take a special interest in this page that I've created because it does have some topics that you probably will discover along the way. If a student arrives late for the exam, they're still to be seated, and the time lost during the first period, during the first exam, can be made up at the end of the morning. So if they're missing 10 minutes out of the first exam, allow them to make that 10 minutes up at the end. By giving them back their test booklet, they're allowed to do that and work on the beginning of the exam only. If there is a problem with behavior, anybody who disrupts the exam or test, please call the principal's office, 5006, for security to come down to you. Students may go to the bathroom, but they can only go one at a time. There seems to be a lot of information here, but hopefully, if you can follow it, and if you'll stick to the rule of by alpha only, and by giving out the test booklets and collecting the test booklets one test at a time, I think we'll get through this and we'll have a good testing. I hope so. So thanks for all of your help. Always appreciated, and best of luck on the day.